चल हो जा शुरू।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
The absence of stone pelting, I think, is more an absence of reporting of stone pelting. It still happens, but in limited amounts and very sporadic. But it does happen. It just doesn't get reported. As far as attacks or terror attacks or militancy attacks are concerned, you just lost a Jawan of the Air Force a few days ago in Rajouri. How can you claim that the situation is better? It took a lot of effort for us to put our party unit back together after 2019. We took our fight for our symbol all the way to the Supreme Court. Elections should have been held the moment the prayer ceremony was done and Ram Lala's statue was consecrated. I think the gap that was allowed to build, the enthusiasm for the whole thing has gone down. Both India and Pakistan have a responsibility to create a climate conducive for dialogue. We can't just hold India responsible for talks. Pakistan also has to understand that India has concerns and those concerns can't be ignored. My fight is not against an individual. It's against Government of India, its agencies, BJP, Nagpur. The people here are just the faces. When the Supreme Court issued 3 judgments in favor of 370, no. At that time the BJP was allowed to make this an issue. Did anybody ask the BJP why this was still an issue when they were reduced to 2 members of parliament in Rajiv Gandhi's landslide victory? If it was an issue for a BJP then, why not now?
Last day of campaigning for Baramulla Lok Sabha seat. Some 22 candidates in fray, but we are seeing the huge enthusiasm on ground for national conference. And joining me here is former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir and Vice President of National Conference, Umar Abdullah. Umar, thank you so much for joining here on Republic. So, what is the situation on ground as far as in India particularly, because we are seeing the elections post abrogation of Article 370, then inauguration of Ram Mandir?
Are you asking me for the national situation? Look, I've hardly had time from my own election to be able to look at what's happening nationally. You can hear my voice. I can hardly get words out. As far as I see, it looks as if the BJP is a little unstable or a little unsettled, because contrary to what the Prime Minister said about not using Hindu-Muslim for elections, from the BJP that's all we are seeing. Muslims will take our land, Muslims will take our Mangal Sutras, Muslims will put Babri Masjid's lock on Ram Mandir, and now yesterday Muslims will bring bulldozers and demolish Ram Mandir. We are the victims, not the aggressors. It was our mosque that was demolished, not somebody's temple. And the Muslim community as a whole has accepted the judgment of the Supreme Court. Have you seen a single Muslim voice talk about doing anything other than respecting what has happened on the ground in Ayodhya? The truth is that clearly these first 4 phases have not gone the way the BJP had wanted. From talking about 400, I think they've come down quite significantly. How much? We'll know on the 4th of June.
Will Ram Mandir have any effect as far as Jammu is concerned?
I don't think Ram Mandir has had much effect in the rest of the country. Why will it? I am actually surprised that the enthusiasm of Ram Mandir dwindled so quickly. I think in this respect the BJP made a strategic mistake. Elections should have been held the moment the prayer ceremony was done and Ram Lala's statue was consecrated. I think the gap that was allowed to build, the enthusiasm for the whole thing has gone down.
So you're talking about the mainland India. What about, what is your perspective on the possible resumption of talks between India and Pakistan?
I have no idea. A lot will depend on what sort of mandate the next Prime Minister of India gets and how much they are committed to normalizing relations. In the beginning of his term, Prime Minister Modi had invited Nawaz Sharif. He even dropped in and attended a family wedding. After that, unfortunately, everything went downhill. Who knows? Maybe something good will come in the days after the election, but I can't say. All I will say is that both India and Pakistan have a responsibility to create a climate conducive for dialogue. We can't just hold India responsible for talks. Pakistan also has to understand that India has concerns, and those concerns can't be ignored.
Umar, we have been saying that majority of the parties we see have come together to give a challenge to the national conference in Baramulla, where you are contesting. Do you see the challenge, and how is the challenge like? What do you foresee?
From day one, I've said that my fight is not against an individual. It's against Government of India, its agencies, BJP, Nagpur. The people here are just the faces. And the BJP keeps changing which face they want to support. DPAP, Ghulam Nabi Azad's party, doesn't do anything unless he's told to by Delhi and the BJP. So his support for another candidate in this election, ditching his own, tells you a lot about how all of them are coming together to try and defeat me.
You are interpreting the politics being done by the Supremo of DPAP as far as support for jailed leader Engineer Rashid is concerned.
I have not seen Azad Saab do anything that Delhi has not cleared first, including fighting Kishtwar seat, not fighting Jammu seat, so on and so forth.
Okay, Supreme Court of India has already pronounced its verdict as far as Article 370 is concerned, but we are seeing the National Conference still making it a poll issue. Is it still relevant?
Of course it's relevant. Did anybody ask the BJP this question when the Supreme Court issued 3 judgments in favor of 370? No. At that time the BJP was allowed to make this an issue. Did anybody ask the BJP why this was still an issue when they were reduced to 2 members of parliament in Rajiv Gandhi's landslide victory? If it was an issue for a BJP then, why not now? So far a 5-judge bench has found against Article 370. Who's to say a future larger bench won't reverse what this bench did? Our job is to keep the issue alive and to fight for our rights.
Do you see a success coming your way
Someday? Yeah, that's very far away. Inshallah, 4th June.
Okay. So as far as when we talk about the politics of Jammu and Kashmir, we have been saying that you are in alliance with the Congress, India Alliance. But why the India Alliance partners are not talking about Article 370? Why they silent?
Look, I understand. They're not all silent. In fact, if you were to attend my campaign and Congress leaders who are present there, they talk about what happened on the 5th of August 2019. Other political parties support us. Parties in West Bengal, in Tamil Nadu, the left parties. So it's a evolving process. I myself in my speeches when I talk, I tell people that they need to elect a representative who will go into parliament, talk for them, and also be able to unify other parties to support what we are asking for.
This election and your campaigning, we have been seeing a lot of lot of weight is being put on identity, protection of identity. But do you see that the handful of MPs going to the parliament will be able to ensure that the identity is protected?
Identity protection will be less a responsibility of parliament, more a responsibility for the elected government of Jammu and Kashmir. When you see us talking about identity, we understand we're not going to be able to change domicile laws through parliament. We will change domicile laws, inshallah, when we have our own elected government after September 30th.
Omar, how do you read this? The BJP, despite we have been seeing the delimitation exercise, but they could not field their candidates. The BJP is not contesting from Kashmir. How do you read all this?
It's true, BJP has chosen not to field candidates. Clearly that was part of the understanding with Sajad Lone and Altaf Bukhari and others. It's not a coincidence that the Home Minister lands up in Srinagar only after Srinagar polling has done, then meets quietly with some of these leaders.
How do you see the politics in Ladakh now coming? Because we are seeing the resistance within your own unit as far as the candidate of India Alliance is concerned?
We lost our unit. And I find that very unfortunate and also disappointing, because it took a lot of effort for us to put our party unit back together after 2019. We took our fight for our symbol all the way to the Supreme Court. To have had to lose our party unit because of the Congress's mandate selection and how unacceptable that was to Kargil people. Chaliye, what's done is done, we can't help it. National Conference had committed its support to the India bloc. We are supporting the India bloc. Whatever little support we have in Kargil now, we've asked our supporters to please vote for the Congress candidate.
Ms. Mufti campaigned for India Alliance in Jammu and Udhampur constituencies.
She didn't. And that's the surprising thing. I campaigned. Dr. Farooq Abdullah campaigned. Mehbooba Mufti was silent. Other than one press conference, she did not go out and campaign against the BJP. So all this talk about her being part of the India bloc, about part of the bigger fight, clearly there is something, some sort of understanding, which is why you see BJP leaders in Rajouri Punch announcing their support for Mehbooba. Whether it is Syed Mushtaq Bukhari of Surankot, whether it is the ex-MLC Murtaza Khan, they're all supporting PDP in this election. That's not without the permission of the BJP. So I think her not campaigning against the BJP is part of a strategic understanding.
Who's going to be, who will get favor by the split of Pagad?
By the split of?
Because we are saying NC.
We haven't split yet. We are intact. PDP has moved out. चलिए आगे देखें क्या होता है.
Umar, do you think that the situation in the Kashmir Valley has improved, because seeing the level, the decrease in the locals joining the terror ranks, or we see there is no collateral damage, or we talk about the hartal or the separatist politics, that has definitely gone down. Do you see that the peace has somehow returned?
The change in separatist politics is something only the separatists can explain. The absence of stone pelting, I think, is more an absence of reporting of stone pelting. It still happens, but in limited amounts and very sporadic. But it does happen. It just doesn't get reported. As far as attacks or terror attacks or militancy attacks are concerned, you just lost a Jawan of the Air Force a few days ago in Rajouri. How can you claim that the situation is better?
Jamaat-e-Islami has recently played a move expressing the willingness to join the political assembly elections in the coming time if the ban is revoked or the assets. Do you see that this is aligning with the Prime Minister Modi's vision of a Naya Kashmir?
Look, you'll have to ask the Jamaat-e-Islami if they're aligned with Prime Minister Modi. I can't say that. All I will say is that their rai durust hai. Clearly the last 35 years have achieved nothing in terms of what the Jamaat-e-Islami set out to achieve of uniting this part of Jammu and Kashmir with Pakistan. We also know that from time to time Jamaat-e-Islami has supported various political parties in the elections, but quietly. Therefore, I welcome the fact that they have announced they will contest if the ban is revoked. I hope that the moment the model code is lifted, Government of India should revoke the ban and Jamaat-e-Islami should contest under its own party name and symbol in the assembly elections.
Considering historical facts of Jamaat-e-Islami opposing Sheikh Abdullah's policies, but now how do you read the move that Jamaat is ready, showing willingness to uphold the Constitution of India and its sovereignty in Jammu and Kashmir?
Again, this is a question only the Jamaat can answer. I can only say that National Conference paid a very heavy price for upholding the Constitution of India. The candidate from Srinagar who we are campaigning with, Aga Ruhullah Saab, he lost his father to militancy in November 2000. There are so many people here whose families in some way or the other got hit by militancy because we did not release or we did not surrender our commitment to the Constitution and to the national integrity. Given that, the change of stance of the Jamaat is welcome. The sooner the better.
So it is some way giving you some relief that finally they are accepting the policies that your grandfather laid the foundation on.
I don't want to speak for the Jamaat. let them speak for themselves. I'll speak only for the National Conference, but their decision or their willingness to contest elections is a good thing.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
That was Umar Abdullah, last day of the campaigning here in Budgam. He is holding a road show since morning, and Baramulla constituency will go for polls on 20th of this month with Vijay Mubashir Hussain. I'm Zeenat Zishan Fazil for Republic in Budgam.